Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my day 25 foundation. I'm going to be using the OneSize Turn Up the Base Full Beat Liquid Foundation. I went ahead and purchased this foundation while it was on sale. You'll get to see me do application. I'll show you the swatch of the shade that I picked, and I will be doing several check-ins throughout the day so you can see how this wears on my combination oily skin. I also wanted to throw in a couple new items in this video. So we do have the new Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Nature Palette. I was so excited to try this palette out for you guys. Ethereal Eyes is one of my favorite palettes, so I was excited to try out the Nature. And then I also threw in the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Eye Illusion Duo in the shade When the Sun Sets. I can't wait for you guys to see how I created this look. If you have not already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Hopefully I can teach you a little something about beauty. If you do enjoy today's video or the look that I created, please give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate that so much. Let's go ahead and jump into me applying all of this makeup. The first thing I want to do today is use this It Confidence in a Gel Cream. I have used this product several times in the past, but just recently it was on the 21 Days of Beauty for 50% off at Ulta, so I picked it up again. In my opinion, this is a pretty expensive moisturizer, but for 50% off, it's a really good deal. I really enjoy this formula. It's great for combination oily skin. Ultra light skin balancing moisturizer, oil control plus anti-aging armor. It's a gel consistency. It's like this beautiful teal green color. You can tell it's definitely a gel formula. It's got a light scent, but it's not overwhelming at all. And it doesn't take very much product. I just take it on a spatula and I just put it on like that. Kind of just dot it along. This is a really, really nice product. I've loved this for years and I'm happy to have it again in a full size, and it'll last me a really long time. If you're new to my channel, these are the only two I really enjoy. A lot of people say that this is not good for oily combo skin, but I find it makes my makeup wear really well. I love it and I'll never stop using it. So these two are my top two moisturizers for my combination skin. Put my eye patches back on. I have my L'Oreal Eye Defense eye cream on, and I like to put these eye patches on over top and really let it penetrate my under eyes. Okay, I've got you super zoomed because we are going to do some eye makeup. This was also on sale during the 21 Days of Beauty at Ulta. This is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, but I had to purchase mine from Sephora. Whenever Ulta is doing their 21 Days of Beauty, if Sephora has that product too, they usually try to put it on sale as well. And on Ulta's website, when I went to purchase, this one was already sold out, or they don't carry it. I'm not quite sure. But this one's in the shade Eden, and it's like a nude concealer shade, and I really enjoy this formula. I still have some left in my old package, so I'm going to continue to use this up. There you can see the wand. It definitely looks like a concealer shade for me, and it doesn't take a lot, but I usually try to do one eye at a time and just kind of cover my eyelid like that, and then I'll blend it out. You can use any brush, but this is just the brush that I've picked out to blend my eye primer, and it's my favorite, so it's what I reach for the most, and it's just something that I got in a Laura Lee Los Angeles mystery box one time. Look at that. Blended. This tube has lasted me a really long time, but because they had it on sale for 50% off, I went ahead and got it while I could for that price, and whenever I run out, I'll have a backup. That's how I usually shop all of these sales. That's just how I have learned to save money through the years with products that I really, really love. If they're going to be 50% off, I'm going to get it. I just love this Real Techniques Miracle Concealer Sponge. Make sure that I pick up any excess eye primer and make sure that it's just pressed into my eyelids. I'm going to lightly set that eye primer down, and I'm going to use one of my new Tati brushes. This is the ES3. It's called the Focused Face Brush, but it's just a very small fluffy brush that you could use for anything. So today I'm going to use this to lightly set down the eye primer. We'll talk more about those brushes later on, but I am happy with them, but I think I just need a little bit more time to play with them before I give like a full review about them. I'm just using my Tatcha Kiss You lip mask. I just popped open a fresh jar and I love this product so much. All right, I went ahead and pulled out all the Tati eye brushes from the sets that I bought. And then I also have the BK Beauty 212, N13, and the 208 brush, because these three brushes are very hard for me to not use. Like, I'm always grabbing these for any eye look, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them out because I know I'll want to grab for them. I'm going to start with the 212 because that's my favorite blending brush. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the palette that we're going to work with today. It's the new Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Nature palette. I couldn't resist, you all. You know how much I love the Ethereal Eyes original. So when I saw this, I knew instantly I had to get it. I have played with it because not only did I want to create a look with this, I also wanted to give you some of my first impressions because I've seen some very mixed reviews about it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to recreate a look that I've already done, because I'm also going to add the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Eye Illusion Duo in the shade When the Sun Sets, which is also a new release. And I love these so much, and I knew that this color story would not only go with this palette, but it's also a color story that I knew I would reach for a lot. I'm going to start with this shade right here. It's almost like a light peachy pink taupe. That's just how my brain registers this color. I'm going to put this as my transition shade, and it is kind of on the darker side, so make sure you kind of focus most of the product out here in the outer V first, and then blend it inwards. If you like a very light, subtle eye look, that's just how I would suggest applying this eyeshadow, because it can go pretty dark pretty quickly. I'm going to go into this shade over here, which I believe is EN4. It's like a light beigey yellow. Has a little bit of a yellow tint to it. Kind of like the color of the eye primer that I used. So you shouldn't be able to see too much, but what it will do is it'll kind of soften everything and blend everything together and just make it look a little bit more diffused. Like that. I'm going to grab a Tati brush now. This is the ES4. And I love using a brush like this for my outer V. I'm going to go into the shade EEN9. This light brown down here. And I'm just picking it up on one side of the brush. You can see there it's just on that one side. And this brush picks up the product very, very well. Now I'm just going to tap it out here in the outer V. So just do light tapping motions to place that pigment down. And then once you have most of it off of the brush, do the same technique as we did earlier and just gently blend into the crease. But with this shade, I'm trying to keep most of it out here. So I'm going to do most of my blending right here in the outer V. I really enjoy this brush. It's so fluffy, so soft, and it does a great job. And where it has that pointed tip to it, it does a really good job at blending in the crease. Now I'm going to go into my N13 brush, and I'm not going to put any product on it. I'm just going to use this brush to softly blend everything and make sure it's very well blended before we move on. Don't worry too much about out here because we're going to clean it up anyway. Now I'm going to take my BK208 brush. I'm going to start on a little wing with the deepest brown shade in the palette. I'm just going to take this brush and go ahead and start to stamp where I'm going to have my wing right by the lash line. And with this, I don't even really go all the way across my lid. I just go about maybe 3/4 of the way on my lash line. I stop right around where my pupil is. And then out here, I'm going to kind of keep turning my head so I can see how this is going to look. But again, at this point, it's not super important because you can clean it up. You're just kind of making a rough outline. I'm going to use the Tati ES6 little blender brush. It's super tiny. And I'm going to use it with that dark brown just on the very tip of the fibers, like that. And I'm going to smoke it out a little bit. I'm going to try to anyway. See how this works? Just to kind of blend and make it look a little softer. I know it looks crazy right now, but just wait. I'm going to take a little wipe and clean it up. And now I'm going to grab the eyeliner I'm using today. It's the OneSize Point Made Waterproof Gel Eyeliner. And I got it in the shade Busty Brown. Where I've already started my wing a little bit, I'm taking this eyeliner just to kind of perfect it a little. Now I'm going to go back in with the 208 and a little bit more of the shadow on the tip. And we're going to perfect this eyeliner wing. Now I'm going to go back into the ES6 brush and I'm going to mix the two darkest brown mattes, and we're going to add a little bit more right here above that eyeliner into the outer V and just kind of make this look a little deeper right here. And I'm happy with it. Let's move on to shimmer. I'm going to use a little bit of my NYX glitter glue. I'm going to use the ES5 brush to apply this much of the glitter glue. Like I'm telling you guys, you don't need much at all. And I'm going to place it down where I'm going to have my shimmers. And just kind of do tapping motions with this. You can also use your finger, but I'm trying to use as many of these brushes as I can in today's video, so this also works really well for this. We are going to use this shade right here, and this is like a rose gold, beautiful shade. As you can see, these are super thin. The formula is very, very thin. It feels a little bit on the dry side, and they are not as sparkly as the original. They're just not. I think, personally, I started to feel a difference in the shimmers in the Moonlight palette. Thought they felt very thin and very dry, but that was just my opinion. So was I shocked to find that these were very, very thin? No, I wasn't. Am I mad about it? I don't think I'm mad about it. I'm a little disappointed about it because I love the original and this doesn't feel the same. So yeah, I am a little disappointed by it, but I still think it's a beautiful palette. I'm going to go into this shade up here, which is EEN2. This formula is a little bit different. It's more of like a, I don't know, it's more of like a satin shimmer, but I'm going to use a little bit of this and we're going to just place it towards the inner portion. And once you blend this out, it just looks like a light gold on the lid. And it has a nice sheen to it, but they're not the same level of intensity on the lid. So that's just the two shimmers that I used. I'm going to get up close for you to really see. And now let's amp it up a little bit. We're going to go into the When the Sun Sets by Patrick Ta. This shade right here, gorgeous. Look at the difference on my finger compared to what the Makeup by Mario looked like. And now let's put it right on top. And you can instantly see more sparkle. We're going to go into this top shade. Look how sparkly and beautiful these are. This shade is a little bit like a champagne with a pink shimmer to it. I would say like a peachy pink. So now I have this beautiful shimmery eye look that I prefer. I just wanted to show you guys the look that I have been loving from the Makeup by Mario palette, but I've also had to incorporate the Patrick Ta to make it more sparkly and just what I prefer. I am very happy with my purchases. I'm happy that I picked out the Patrick Ta in that shade. I feel like it goes really well with the Makeup by Mario palette. I'm going to fix my eyeliner and continue my thoughts really quick, but like I said, the Makeup by Mario palette, I am happy to have it in my collection. It's a nice addition. I love the colors. I can't wait to play with that green shade. I will be doing that in my next look, but it is a tiny bit of a letdown because I'm just not as big of a fan of the shimmer formula from the past two Ethereal Eyes palettes. The original is much more sparkly. I don't know, it's just a lot better. The quality feels a lot better in the original. These feel super thin and they're just not as sparkly. That is basically my overall thoughts on the Makeup by Mario palette. I understand everyone's disappointment. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye, and I'll come back and we'll play with some other new makeup and move on to my Day 24 foundation. Give me just 1 second. All right, I'm back. I went ahead and added a little bit of the Precisely My Brow Detailer pencil in a shade 3.5. This was also on sale for 50% off, and I went ahead and just filled in a little bit. I'm going to, of course, add a little bit more with a brow pen, but I wanted to go ahead and add a few little hair-like strokes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and remove my eye patches, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of primer because I usually like to let my primer sink in while I do my mascara. I'm going to use the OneSize Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer first. I'm just going to put it kind of on the perimeter. I'm also going to add a little bit of the Oil Sucker, the Extreme Alkaline Mattifying Primer. Listen to this. It's super liquidy, but you have to shake it. It's almost like a liquid powder. I think a little bit too much came out, so we're not going to use all of that, but I just want to show you guys. It's very liquidy, but you just are supposed to apply it and then kind of not talk for a while it dries down. Basically, I just focus this in my T-zone. I'm just going to use my Clio Kill Lash, and I'll be right back. I went ahead and did my mascara, and now it's time to use our Day 24 foundation, the OneSize Turn Up the Base Full Beat Liquid Foundation. I've wanted to try this ever since it released. 2 weeks ago, I got an email saying that their liquid foundation was going to be 60% off. So I went onto the website and I was trying to place my order, and every time I would put my shade in, or what I assume is my shade, it wasn't ringing up 60% off, and I was like, what the heck? So then I went through and I was putting in some of the darker shades, and they were ringing up 60% off in checkout. So I was very confused, and I was like, forget it. So I waited until like the very last day of the sale. I just thought, let me look and see. So I went, found my shade, put it in my cart, and it came up 60% off. It was $17.60, I believe. So I went ahead and purchased 2 shades because I'm pretty sure whenever I went into Sephora to feel this foundation and shade match, Light 50 NR was my shade. But because I do fluctuate between self-tan, not self-tanned, I went ahead and purchased Fair 40 NR, which is also a neutral rosy. Just because I was purchasing online, I wanted to make sure I had a good shade, and if nothing else, I could mix them. And I will say the main reason I did that is because I just know his shades run very warm, very yellow, and I wanted to make sure I had something that worked for me. So this one's Light 50 NR, and again, I'm pretty sure this is the one that matched me. So I'm not even going to open up this one yet unless I have to. I've seen so many reviews about how you have to really shake it up well. So I'm going to shake it. This is what the bottle looks like. It's frosted glass, so it's hard to tell with the shade, but we're going to hope for the best. Okay, it's pumping out easy. I thought for sure based on those reviews I was going to have a hard time, but I just pumped out a little bit on the back of my hand for you to see it. Yeah, it does feel pretty thick. It's going to be my shade, you guys. Let's see. Even this being a neutral rosy is still what I would consider pretty yellow. And I think it's going to work pretty well. I mean, that blended in with my neck, so we're going to go for it. We're going to hope for the best, and we're going to use 50 NR. For this, I'm also going to use one of the new Tati brushes. This is the ES2. It's the foundation brush that's dual-ended. And I'm going to take the product from my hand that I just put out here into the brush. I put 1 pump on the back of my hand. We're going to see how much coverage I can get with just 1 pump. See, I mean, that is definitely a yellow toned foundation, and that's supposed to be neutral rosy. His foundation shades just aren't it. And that's why I never purchased it, because I thought I'm not going to be able to get a good shade. I might need to use some of my white pigments to kind of neutralize this a little bit. I'm just going to spread this side out and see how far this will stretch. And it's going a pretty long way. And now I'm flipping it around and just using this side to really press it into my skin. Something I wanted to mention about this foundation is to let it dry down on your skin before you decide on your shade. I'm not sure what kind of witchcraft is in this formula, but I think the shade may have adjusted once I finish blending. It starts off super yellow, but after it's blended, it doesn't look too far off. I don't know. I don't think I need to use any of the white once we blend it out. I think it'll be okay. It just looks very different compared to my face where I have pink undertones, and this is supposed to be a neutral rosy, but as you can see, it's just pretty warm. Up close, I don't feel like it's blurring my texture a ton, but it doesn't look bad. So before, after. Not bad. And you can see I still have a lot left on my hand from that one pump. We're going to go in and pick it up with this brush and see what I can do on this side. The OneSize Turn Up the Base Full Beat Waterproof Liquid Foundation is $44 for 1 ounce at Sephora, and there are 38 shades. It's a full coverage liquid formula with a matte finish. I'm assuming it's intended for all skin types since they don't really specify. It claims to be a long-wear, waterproof, sweat-proof foundation. It's formulated with only 16 ingredients that give full coverage and maximum comfort to visibly blur and smooth without clogging pores. Of course, this is my first impression, but I think it's a nice formula, and I think it could be amazing if the shades were better. I'm going to try it with my white mixing pigment and my favorite primer next time I wear it, and I'll let you know how it goes in the comments. I mean, it's definitely yellow. It's crazy, but I think we'll be able to make it work. I really like this brush from Tati. This side's very, very dense, so just keep that in mind if you're not used to a very dense foundation brush. It's good for really pressing it into your pores. I just felt like using the OneSize primers with the foundation would make the most sense because they should work well with each other. You would think they would anyway. One of my favorite things about this brush is using it around the brows. It's very, very good for that. I just can't get over how yellow this looks. It's crazy. Once you blend it in, it doesn't look bad, but at first it's pretty yellow. But look how nicely you can go around your brows with this brush. I love it. I think for the rest of my face, I'm going to take my Stands Out sponge and we're going to use some product on the sponge. For one, I just want to see how it works with the sponge, and for two, I want to see if this will help press it into the skin a little bit. I feel like it's just sitting on top of the skin right now, and I want to see if this will press it in. Time to take an apple cider break while this dries down. This is like my favorite drink in the fall. Warm apple cider. 10 out of 10. So good. Now that it is blended in, and we're going to let it dry down, do its thing for a minute, I want you to take a look. I feel like it's definitely looking better. At first, when I blended it out, it looked like it was sitting on top of my pores and my texture and really emphasizing everything. It's still not a favorite. Like, it's not blurring as much as I thought it would be. As of right now, it's just not my favorite, the way it's sitting. But I grabbed some more Tati brushes, and I'm going to use these for the rest of my complexion. I'm going to show you the foundation dried down on the back of my hand, and as you can see, it dries down and it looks a lot more neutral on my hand. I'm hoping as it dries down it's going to just continue to look a little bit better. I'm going to use my Rare Beauty liquid contour in the shade Solace. I love this product so much. I usually just kind of dot it around. I'm going to use the Morphe Shape Lifter in the shade Refined on my nose and my lips. I'm going to use the SP3 brush, which is this flat sculpting brush, to blend out my contour. Now taking my Patrick Ta nose contour brush to blend this. I'm going to move into concealer now. I'm going to use the OneSize Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer in the shade Light 3N. And if this is too dark, I have the Cali Ray Hideaway Brightening Under Eye Concealer in the shade Golden Hour. It's the corrector concealer. This one has a pretty unique doe foot. You can see all the product kind of splattered up on the tip of it. I'm actually going to put this in the palm of my hand first and work from my hand. And I'm going to use the SP5 brush from Tati, which is actually an eyeshadow brush, but I'm going to try it today. It could be a nose contour brush too, but we're going to try it as our concealer brush. I'm just going to work a little bit of this into the brush and see what kind of coverage it gives, what kind of color it's giving, if it's too yellow, if I need to add something to brighten it. It's definitely yellow, but that's going to be a good thing for me with my under eyes. It's going to cancel out all that darkness. Got a little too much up here. This concealer is a little thick, so I'm trying to be careful not to use too much. I think I might need to add a little bit of the Cali Ray to brighten. Let's see if it makes a difference. I actually really love this brush. It's really good for blending because you can turn it and use it this way, but then you can also turn it and pat it, and it looks really good. So I'm going to take a little bit of the concealer on the tip of the brush, and we're going to put it in the center of my nose. Yeah, it's definitely on the yellow side, but it's all right. As you can see, I did not use all of the concealer. You do not need a lot with this product. It goes a very long way. And now I'm just tapping it in with the sponge. I'm just going to use the NARS Multiple Stick in the shade Dazed. It's my new favorite, and I'm going to use the SP2 brush. We're going to take this product directly on the brush like this. I love this blush so much, you guys. It's so good. And I'm just going to tap it in. This shade is very neutral pink, so it will go with a lot of looks. This formula is fantastic. I will be buying more shades. I'm going to probably purchase the shade Behave during the Sephora sale. Although I do really, really love this formula and the shade, $40 is a lot for a blush. I've been using this nearly every day, and this is how much I have left. For 40 bucks, I feel like might as well get it on sale. I'm going to use this little tiny Morphe puff with my Uma Beauty Trip and Smooth powder. Then I also take a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury powder. You can use it first or you can use it on top, either way. I've been loving it, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this powder now to really set, especially right through here. And it gives a little bit of brightness. I'm going to use my favorite Nikia Joy Cosmetics powder. Now I'm going to take the ES1 large powder brush, and I'm just going to lightly dust a little bit more of the powder along the areas where I used contour, blush, because you just want a light dusting of powder there. And then just whatever's left on the brush, just softly blend all over your face. I'm going to use my Lancome bronzer today in the shade 3. I love this bronzer so much, and the packaging is so beautiful. But I'm going to take it on my F14 brush from Shop Miss A. I'm going to tap it in the areas where I want to bronze. It's such a smoothing formula. I really enjoy it. I'm going to use Patrick Ta in the shade Not Too Much on the ES3 Focused Face Brush. As you can see, it picks up the product really well. These fibers are very good at picking up product. I will say that. So I'm going to use this side to lay down the powder blush. Flip this brush around and use the other side for the cream in the Patrick Ta. Now I'm going to use a little bit of the OneSize pressed powder in the shade Light 2N. Powder puff. Next, I'm going to go into the ABH Micro Stroke Brow Pen in the shade Medium Brown. I've tried this a couple times and I really do enjoy it. Just give it a good shake. It does have a spoolie on one end, which I really appreciate. It was a really good move on their part. And I'm just going to use this to continue to fill in the brows. Look how quick and just beautiful that is. It's such a good product. So I'll go back through with my brow pencil here in a minute just to kind of underline and perfect out here. But for the most part, my brows are done. And it was so quick, so easy. I love everything about it. I want you to see how fine the tip is on this. It is wonderful. The next product I'm really excited to try is the Huda Beauty Lip Contour Stain in the shade Soft Nude. This is the shade that I was curious to try because all of the other ones just look too dark. I don't like a super dark lip line. I like it to look more natural, like my lips but better. So we're going to try this out today and see how it goes. I've wiped off everything from my lips. So far, it doesn't look too dark. I'm glad I waited and didn't get another shade. This one's the lightest shade, and even this is a little bit deep for me, so I'm just being very careful. I'm not going to fill in with it. I'm just going to leave the outline. And then I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury for the rest to kind of go on top of that. This one's the lip contour in the shade Medium. And then I'll take the fill side like that. And then to lighten it up a little bit, I'm going to use the shade Cream de Nude from MAC. Just in the center. And another new lip product is the Buxom Full On Plumping Lip Polish in the shade White Russian Sparkle. It's not new. I've had this before, but it's a repurchase because I love it so much. This is what it looks like. And it's just a very soft baby pink color with a little bit of sparkle to it. Love it so much. The formula is really nice. It's a cooling formula. It's one of those minty tingles instead of a hot, spicy tingle. That's a pretty lip. I use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, and I just purchased her in the jumbo size. Yeah! I have a little bit in the full size, so I'll probably just use it. Lock it in with the OneSize. I purchased a 3-pack and saved like 20 some dollars by purchasing 3. It was a really good sale they had on their website, and I got me some. I'm going to use my Lancome Lash Idol Mascara on the lower lashes. Alright, I'm going to show you some swatches now of the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Nature Palette. This is the inside, and now I'm going to swatch it on my hand for you. And I'm going to show you live swatches because I think that's very helpful. We're going to start with the first shade, which is this matte with a little bit of sparkle. A lot of people are saying that the sparkle kind of goes away as you blend it, and I just don't think so. I think it has a sheen to it, and it's just unnecessary in my opinion. I'm not sure why they wanted to put sparkle in that matte shade, but that one bums me out a little bit, not gonna lie. Now I'm gonna move on to the next shade beside it, which looks like a little bit of a gold satiny shade. So there's those first two shades on my hand. Don't make fun of my nails. They need done, I know that. But I'm trying to give them a break. This one's like a dark taupey shade, which might have like a little bit of an olive tone to it, but it's more like a gunmetal taupe shade, really. Next to it is that yellow beigey matte shade. I'm going to do it right beside here. This one's a little bit harder to see because it's so close to my skin tone. I'm going to do one more, and this is that pink tone that we used today. It's like a light pinky taupe. That's the first 5 shades from the palette. Now I'm going to move on to the shade that I used in today's look as far as the shimmers go, and it's like this rose gold. It's stunning. It's very beautiful, and you can build it up, and it definitely gives some sparkle and reflection, and it gives that wet look. Now we're doing that beautiful green, and I cannot wait to try this out. They all feel the same to me. They all feel very thin. So that's what it looks like bright, and then once the light dims a little bit, definitely has a green gold base to it and some gold shimmer. It's very pretty. I can't wait to try this out on my lid. And then now we're going into this light brown in the palette, but it's more of a taupe in my opinion, and it will go good with that green shade because it's not too warm. It's more of a neutral taupey brown, so it'll definitely go with that green, which honestly I think a warm brown would go really good with the green too, in my opinion. But this is the darkest brown. As you can see, it is super pigmented and super dark. Now we're going to do this maroon burgundy beautiful shade, and it's more of like a true metallic. So I'm going to put it right here. It's really, really pretty. But as you can see, it doesn't have the same level of sparkle to it. It's more metallic. But I will say, I think you could probably add sparkle on top to make it really pop. And we might try that in here in just a second. But that is that shade right there. Now I'm going to go into this beautiful gold copper shade. And this one is one of those thin shimmer shades. Very pretty. And then lastly, we have this warmer brown matte, but it's also pretty neutral at the same time. So a lot of these shades pull more neutral toned, less warmth to them. But of all the brown shades, I feel like that is the most warm toned brown. So that's the last 4 shades. Let's see what happens if I add a little bit of one of the sparkly tones on top of the burgundy. And I think what I'll do is I'll use this one right here, which is like a unique satiny formula. And I just want to see what it looks like on top of the maroon shade, just to see. So I'm just going to punch up like half of it, just to see if we can see much of a difference. I feel like it gave it a little bit of sparkle. Let's try the rose gold topper shade on top of the rest of the swatch right here. Yeah, you could add that on and make it a lot more sparkly if you wanted to. So I just wanted to kind of experiment with that and see what we thought. That is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette all swatched out. Now I'm going to show you the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Eye Illusion Duo in the shade When the Sun Sets. So I'm going to start with the darkest shade that we used today. It's so gorgeous. I'm going to put it right here. And I feel like this is what people expected from the Ethereal Eyes. This is similar to what you get out of the original as far as sparkle goes. And then the top shade. This is When the Sun Sets. You have this beautiful rose gold shade, and then you have on top a more champagne base with a little bit of light peachy pink shimmer to it. It is beautiful. All right, that is everything complete. We're going to begin our wear test now of the OneSize Turn Up the Base Full Beat Liquid Foundation. Let's start the timer now and see how long this lasts on my combo oily skin. I'll see you back here in just a few hours. Guys, this is my 4-hour check-in. I am really happy with how everything is wearing. Honestly, on my skin right now, it feels like I'm wearing one of my favorite foundations. I don't feel it on my skin. It doesn't feel heavy. The only thing that I'm still kind of noticing, even after applying all the other makeup, is I still feel like it looks a little yellow. Does it look terrible with my self-tan? No. I like a more neutral, cool tone on me, personally. I just want to get up close for you all to see what my skin is looking like. You can definitely still see my texture, everything. All of this comes through with skin warmth, and I can typically use powders to blot and make it look more smooth throughout the day. But I haven't used any tissue or blotting paper. I've just used a little tiny bit of powder, and this is what it's looking like. So here in a couple hours, I will probably take a tissue and blot, and then I'll use some powder after I blot, and we'll see what it looks like after a few more hours. But as of right now, we are almost at 5 hours. It's 2:50. So here in just 10 minutes, it will be exactly 5 hours since I applied this makeup. That Huda Beauty lip liner, it just does not budge. It's a really good product. I'm definitely happy with how everything is holding up. I will see you all here in a few more hours after I do some dishes, some cooking, some laundry, and we'll see once my oils come through what it looks like then. So see you in a few. All right. Hey guys, I'm back. This is about the 8-hour check-in, and I just wanted to come back on really quick and show you guys. Look at these lips. I have had dinner, I've had several drinks, and the lip liner is still hanging on. I'm just going to add this Peach Glaze Ole Henriksen Peptide Lip Treatment just to give my lips a little bit more hydration. I wanted to show you guys how everything was looking around 8 hours. I've only touched up that one time when I was filming my second video. I've not added any more powder. I've not blotted at all. So this is what everything looks like 8 hours after application. So I'm definitely getting a lot more shiny, which is typical for me and my skin type. But overall, I think it looks really good. Is it a favorite? No. My favorite right now, and probably for a long time, will be the Clinique Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation. But I think this wore really well. And I'm going to try it again when I go to work, because that is how I can really put a foundation through a good wear test, because at work, I get hot, I get cold, I get busy, I get sweaty. It's like you just never know what's going to happen. So I feel like a long 12-hour shift is the best way for me to put a foundation through a wear test. As you can see, I'm using the side of my Stands Out sponge to just kind of blot with this, and it's picking up a little bit of product, but I'm going to use my Tati brush, the ES1, and this Innisfree powder again. I'm just going to take a little bit of this product on the brush, and we're going to tap it around. I should be able to give this a good 10 to 12 hour wear test, so that's all for my 8-hour check-in. Still looking pretty good. So the good news is this foundation lasted over 12 hours and actually looked really good the next day when I woke up. Bad news is I fell asleep on the couch watching a movie with my husband, so I don't really have any more footage to show you guys. But I promise the only thing that got messed up in the 8 hours of sleep that I had was one eyebrow. I'm sure that probably got rubbed off on my husband's pants. Whoops. Ultimately, I think this is a good foundation. They just need to fix the shades. We need actual cool and neutral options. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will be posting a really fun video for you guys soon. So I'll see you then. Take care.